Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Peace, love, and positivity to you. My name is Sohum, and today I'm going to be bringing you a 4-in-1 reaction to Buck 65. We'll be checking out the songs Bandits, Craftsmanship, The Outskirts, and lastly 463, which I didn't realize this, but thank you, Graham, for letting me know. This is actually baseball terminology. It's not something that I would have ever figured out on my own. I think my brain would have gone to like US area codes first, and then if there was like context in the song to help give me the 463, then I could potentially arrive at that answer almost like a math problem. But yeah, Buck 65, he's one of those artists that challenges you in those ways lyrically, in terms of metaphor, song name, song meaning, music production, genre blending. There's so much to Buck, so for me it's going to be fun to hear more. We have to thank Graham the Exotic for making this donation request and these selections today, thereby bringing more Buck 65 to the channel. And Graham, hope all is well with you, and as always, condolences for your sister, for your loss. I can only imagine how heavy that weighs on your heart. All the best. Now we jump in. His seems like a license plate has been shot up, or at least some kind of aluminum sign. Hence the Bandits.
Cardboard crown across the side says fragile. Shirt unbuttoned, pleasure fool, I'm agile. Ripped up forms, men with swords, tear the flesh. Eyes like shadows, one-way ticket, Marrakesh. No doors or windows, caught on fire, high-speed train. Smashed up lives, torrential downpour, I need pain. Stuntman's wife, back alley, mattress, wrath of addicts. Underwater, second language, mathematics.
Interesting. The language of math.
Run like a racehorse, outright madness. Under the bridge, will make out like.
It's interesting, when I think of Bandits, you think sometimes of Wild Wild West, like Outlaws. And as I'm listening to this, I get elements of twang, elements of the West of that era, in at least the United States. I'm not sure if that's the exact environment that's trying to be conveyed by the playing, but that's where I kind of envision myself as I listen to this.
Run like a racehorse, outright madness. Under the bridge, will make out like
that
bandits.
Twang. Oh, make out like bandits, okay.
Run like a racehorse, outright madness. Under the bridge, will make out like bandits. Make it stop, hurry up, go away, fight it off, hit it hard, dig a hole, show the way, take it up, break it up, make it.
It's literally just a rap cadence. I love it.
Tie down, make it stop, hurry up, go away, fight it off, hit it hard, dig a hole, show the way, take it up, break it up, make it bleed, try now, call it off, kick it out, let it breathe, tie down.
And there's also something to be said about the uniqueness of Buck's voice. It's like he's a little bit breathier, he's a little bit raspier than, I'm just gonna say, the average human male voice. He also kind of compresses it. I would say, I don't know, vertically or horizontally will make any difference to your understanding, but there is a slight compression that I would have to employ to be able to, sing in his sing in his voice. So he kind of has that naturally, which is which stands him apart.
All the way, take it up, break it up, make it bleed, dry now, call
the
it
rest.
Off, kick it out, let it breathe, die down. Motion sickness, dry and yellowed, heaven beckons. Tornado boredom, target practice, 7 seconds. Cemetery de Montparnasse, fair decision. Russell's Viper, 3 a.m. mid-air collision. Silly girls and beat up boys all going fast.
Okay.
Lighting fires, killing music, blowing glass. Whispered fury, deepest secrets, separate treasures.
I think blowing glasses
The eyes
is
go big,
drugs.
now slap your forehead, desperate measures. Make it stop, hurry up, go away, fight it off, hit it hard, dig a hole, show the way, dig it up, break it up, make it bleed, try now, call it off, kick it out, let it breathe, tie down. Make it stop, hurry up, go away, fight it off, hit it hard, dig a hole, show the way, dig it out, break it up, make it bleed, try now, call it off, kick it out, let it breathe, tie down.
dusty hip-hop, western, but on vinyl, you know?
Like bandits. Run like a racehorse, outright madness. Under the bridge, you'll make out like bandits.
Interesting. I like that. There's like a baked-in dustiness to this track, which I can appreciate. Cinematic. Filled with that outlaw energy. And Buck's work is always extremely storytelling driven, but grounded in that like gritty imagery and the fun just production elements. Yeah. His style of music is extremely abstract, yet grounded at the same time, which is kind of like a conundrum as I even try to explain it, because it feels elevated despite it being on the ground, right? Elevated on the ground, those are oxymorons, but that's just the way it kind of comes across to me. That's why it's so fun to like sometimes just get lost in the flow of it, even rather than the lyrics, because the rhythm, the actual production, the musical play that he's putting on for us is so enjoyable in its own right. So when you stack these elements together, like one part of your analytical brain is doing a lot of heavy lifting and the other part of your body is just flowing kind of effortlessly. And there's a lot of, I guess, symbiosis between those two processes that one can help inform the other. It's nice. This is a nice song, and I think I get a lot of notes of, you know, the themes of like freedom, of lawlessness. I guess you could call it like survival in unconventional spaces. But to exist as a bandit is to not belong to that place that you're inhabiting, right? It's to potentially extract from that place that you're inhabiting rather than thriving there. So it's interesting, there's that like lawlessness energy to it mixed with lo-fi. It's a very Buck 65 track, to say the least. Let's keep going. Talkin' honky blues. Oh, I like this chord progression already. I'm definitely drawing from the Aeolian, the minor scale. You get these kind of like xylophone hits, all of the underlying melody from the guitar, and then whatever alien effect we just heard. That's in my left headphone, then to my right. It's almost like you're trying to tune a radio.
Most folks spend their days daydreaming and finding clues. My whole life I've been here at the train station, shining shoes. I started when I was 9, on my own and taught myself. No complaints, I'm doing pretty good and I got my health. Memories and calluses, my hearing's probably next to go. Sometimes I do a little handiwork for extra dough, but mostly this here is how I spend my time. And I've perfected a technique I call the dry shine. Some guys use lots of water on the shoe, but then when it's out in the open air, the shine is gone in 10 minutes. That whole approach, the job is dumb. In fact, dollars to donuts, that customer won't be coming back. This is the most common mistake of the amateurs, going for big numbers to satisfy their managers. Anyway, the dry shine, the first thing I mean to do in this part is very important. I clean the shoe, the residue and the...
Instead of like fulfilling a lot of jobs, quality over quantity seems to be the message. So in the context of craftsmanship, you could mass produce certain goods, or if customers have like repairs that need to be made, you could quickly like bandage and Frankenstein solutions together. But in the long run, that speaks to your character. In the long run, that speaks to your artistry, which would then be lazy, just thrown together. If you wanted to actually craft something that is worth sharing, high enough quality, that approach wouldn't accomplish it. You have to be more mindful, more deliberate, rather than just churning things out.
I mean to do, and this part is very important. I clean the shoe, the residue, and all polish to keep the shoe from being ruined. All you need to do is use a rag with some cleaning fluid. If the shoe's all caked up,
Buck knows a lot about this somehow.
The shoe can't breathe, and that's what causes the feet to stink. They took cardboard off the market, I believe it was a few years ago, cause that leather couldn't breathe. And once you clean the shoe and it's dried, your base coat of polish can now be applied. Then you brush, cause what that tends to do is clean the shoe a little more and gets rid of the residue. And then you do the second coat, just like the first one. You brush it, you rag it, and voila, your work's done, and that's it. You treat each shoe like
can
it's
only
special.
make this song if you have this
Be a
experience.
professional. There's a right way to go about the job and a wrong one. I find this way is much better in the long run. It ain't about the dollar or trying to go fast. Unless you take pride in what you do, and you won't last.
Right.
Craftsmanship,
You won't
some
last.
quality to some lack. You gotta give.
Yeah, because if you're running too fast, just producing, you're going to burn yourself out and your quality drops. You know, there's a reason on this channel that I had to start taking paid requests, because as my channel was growing very early on, I was getting infinite number of recommendations in the comments. And honestly, these days, it's even more recommendations. As one human with a finite amount of time, yes, I could mass produce everything. I could take every single top comment and recommendation and then do the reactions and try to accumulate views on YouTube and quantity. What would happen? Quality drops. I would get tired. I would start having less interesting thoughts. I would just be going through the motions, and I wouldn't care about my craft. And I don't know if you would necessarily call what I'm doing a craft. I'm just truly expressing myself and my thoughts about music as best as I can, but quality over quantity. This is a mantra that I think a lot of people would do better by. It depends on the job that you're in and the life that you want to live, but I think a lot of people are burning themselves out so much, and if they continue to work through that burnout, you kind of start losing pieces of yourself because you aren't, let's say, reinvesting into your own happiness and existence. Now you're just a cog in the capitalistic machine rather than an individual living life. It's just trade-offs, right?
What you do and you won't last. Craftsmanship, it's a quality to some lack. You gotta give people a reason for them to come back. It ain't about the dollar or trying to go fast. Unless you take pride
Do
in
what
what you do
love.
and you won't last.
Right.
Craftsmanship, it's a quality to some lack. You gotta give people a reason for them to come back.
Yeah. Such a deep message. And it applies to anything. With art, with production, with work.
The world's a different place
Quality.
from when I was introduced to. They don't wear shinable shoes like they used to. Casual clothes in the office. What is this? The villain in sneakers is killing my business.
I like this a lot. I like that a lot. And as an artist who you need to have your wits about you, your cognition at a high enough level, your acuity needs to be on point to flex those creative muscles, because to do the hard things, you actually have to relax into yourself, so that the creativity can flourish and blossom, and the effort that's required is almost a byproduct of the vision you have set for what you were trying to put out there. It's a sort of weird reframing, because sometimes people think, oh, you just have to do it and reiterate over it and it'll get better. That is true as a process, but having the vision for something that you're trying to create, especially as an artist, gives you the end goal in mind for how those iterations are going to lead to that destination. So rather than the goal being produce 20 songs as an artist, the goal could be produce a song that you would love to listen to, just one. And then just do that again and again and again, and however many songs you would like. That would be a far better approach than to just, okay, because this, concept of who pays the bill first is trending in the algorithm, let me write a song about it. Oh, and then the next day there's a shooting over here, and now let me write a song about that. And you're kind of jumping from moment to moment, taking in whatever as a kind of response, as opposed to an endeavor on your own. So it's a interesting framing, because you still do need quantity to put bread on the table, depending on your profession. Just be mindful of quality. And if you can actually focus so much in your craft that the quality, just the floor of it naturally raises, the quantity will be there, and it's your choice of what, let's say, jobs you want to take on at that point. Beautiful song. I love Buck's rap delivery. His voice is just so suited for it, and he's so conversational. It just feels like I'm listening to a poet just do his thing. Let's keep going. I would say Craftsmanship is my favorite of the two we heard so far.
Young and attractive, quote unquote, old soul, down in a cold hole, playing my controlled role. The world is mine, good and bad, I never sleep. Odd charms, fire trucks and squad cars, struggling in God's arms, tempted and restless. Blood in my arteries, blood's in the armories. Drugs are a part of me. Circus and fun time, the surface is sunshine. Brush your teeth, stun police, so much darkness.
I love this melody so much.
Nurseries and graveyards,
the vibe's already there.
An old couple plays cards, company and visitors, a frequent surprise on weekends, a sequence of secrets and lies.
I really wonder how much of the lyricism comes from his personal life and story versus being sung about abstractly and then mixed in with some other personal, anecdotes and reflections. It feels like a combination of the two, but if you told me that all of this is from his real life, I would also believe you, so I'm just not sure.
Surprise on weekends, a sequence of secrets and lies. Oddities and prodigies, fireworks, parades bore me, same story. All my decisions are made for me. Reading from loose leaf, misleading, seduce me. I'm so full of love,
misleading, seduce me.
Concrete and steel, I remember these drums. A chill in the air.
I love this too.
Pretty and sad, trying not to cry, trying not to cry.
The
so
saxophone.
So sad. Concrete and steel, I remember these drums. A chill in the air, in September she comes. Pretty
kind of
sad,
burning through the page.
Trying not to cry, so pretty, so sad.
Yeah, it's a really pretty melody.
These are my telephone poles, my dark trenches, my broken windows, my park benches, raccoons and back rooms, giants and small children's, glittering traffic. The outlines of tall buildings still.
It's like the outskirts of society, of urban living, of the self. I feel like there's themes of isolation in here as well. Life, how can I say this? On the page of life, he's on the margins.
Self-defense, I kill, yes I will. They make me do things against my will. Some make fun of what I wear. They cut my hair, goblins and problems, I got my share. And bitch and complain, and I admit that it's strange. Parts of myself that I wish I could change. Insecurities of complexes, exes from market spots. Complicated beauty of abandoned buildings and parking lots. Sparking thoughts and impulses, rebellion and upheaval. Travel indescribable, pleasure in such evil. Review the proof, crime is going through the roof. Accuse the youth, you'd puke if you knew the truth. Concrete and steel, I remember these drums. A chill in the air, in September she comes. Pretty and so sad, trying not to cry.
I love this so much.
So pretty and so sad. Concrete and steel, I remember these drums. A chill in the air, in September she comes. Pretty and sad, trying not to cry. Trying not to cry, so pretty and so sad.
Let me rest around my shalom. Let me once again activate the dominate my environment.
Oh my god. I wish Buck 65 was more popular. Because even when I try to look up the meaning of some of these tracks, nothing comes up because, you know, not many people are really talking about it. I wanted to pull up the lyrics here just to do a little analysis. Let me see if I can find them. Because I like this song a lot too. This probably, we're just like getting better and better in the quality because I love Craftsmanship, but I think I even love Outskirts a little bit more. But the message of the Outskirts is a little bit more ambiguous to me. Concrete and steel, I remember these drums, a chill in the air, in September she comes. Pretty and sad, trying not to cry, so pretty and so sad. That's like the repeated chorus line. So concrete and steel, it gives you the environment, the place and time, the city, the urban living, and living on the outskirts of it, right? The telephone poles, the trenches, the broken windows, the park benches. Absent of what you would want to, well, how can I say? It's abstracted away from where you would want to live in the normal urban center. Still in self-defense I kill, yes, I will. They make me do things against my will. Some make fun of what I wear, and I cut my hair. Goblins and problems, I've got my share. I bitch and complain, and I admit that it's strange. Parts of myself that I wish I could change. Insecurities and complexes, X's for marking spots. Complicated. I can hear Buck sing this, or rap this as I'm reading it. It's interesting, because I can see in his structure of these lyrics that it is Buck. Obviously I have the benefit of having just heard him do it, but it's still really cool. Complicated beauty of abandoned buildings and parking lots. So maybe it has less to do with the individual being on the outskirts of society, though it certainly does. It could more just be simply a song about what the outskirts of society looks like, what it feels like, what happens out there. It's a place of survival. There's less resources available to you, so safety changes the way you engage in the outskirts versus the inskirts. There's a distinction there. It's interesting. I think that's where the song is coming from, but he paints such a vivid picture of the outskirts. I'm not sure if he's inserting himself into it practically, or if he's just speaking more from an artistic sense about being in the outskirts. Good songs, man. 463. Let's jump in. He knows how to put a good beat together. Immediately your head is just bumping.
I don't know what's wrong with the youth of today. Wandering lost, it's true what they say. And who is to blame? TV and magazines, they'd have you believe every day is Halloween. Why, when I was a kid, playing in the ditches, living in fear of Satan and the witches. The whole world was made of wood and smelled like gasoline. The days were at least twice as long and the grass was green. Running for my life, I was cursed by a talking snake. I'd walk all day and throw rocks across a bottomless lake. There was a killer in the woods who would whistle. Once in a while I could hear him shoot his pistol, and the other kids hated me. But like a martyr I drove myself harder and harder. blood in my eyes, scrubbing to get the dirt off. I didn't say much, didn't like to take my shirt off. Was quick, but I didn't know the meaning of pain yet. I'd visit Father Bob and he would show me his train set, tell me a story, offer me a glass of milk, send me on my way with a question to ask myself. The rain didn't bother me, the search had meaning. Church was good, but I'd rather be dreaming. High-speed horseshoes, harnesses, and heavy string. Problem is today they got an answer for everything. 4, 6, 3, an X, an O, and I can't think of a better way to end the day. 4, 6, 3, a punch, a kick, and I can't think of a better way to end the day. 4, 6, 3, a yes, a no, and I can't think of a better way to end the day. 4, 6, 3, it's life, death, and I can't think of a better way to end the day. Learn the words, turning the double play, doing some damage in my own subtle way. I've been all over, I've seen too much, I no longer feel the need to rush. I'm upside down,
learning how to play.
I'm inside out, broken glass all in my mouth, cut wide open, and everybody knew why. Cause when it comes to rocking something fierce, do I? 4, 6, 3, an X, an O, and I can't think of a better way to end the day. 4, 6, 3, a punch, a kick, and I can't think of a better way to end the day. 4, 6, 3, a yes, a no, and I can't think of a better way to end the day. 4, 6, 3, it's life, death, and I can't think of a better way to end the day.
This song goes hard as hell. Acoustic flourishing out of nowhere. Just like this. Wow, these melodies are growing like vines over this song. Out of nowhere. Wow, that's a huge guitar. The transitions in this song have been so cool. Very unique. You might also almost expect like a huge guitar solo here. But the riff is so powerful, you could probably just leave it on this. The acoustics are back. It's retreading that route. Wow, and sort of back to where we started, that almost like fugue-like sound. Oh, with the little hit. Wow. The more I listen to Buck 65, the more I'm just like immediately impressed by every one of these songs. I just like them all melodically. I think if I had to go in order of the songs that I like melodically, it would be it's either Craftsmanship or the Outskirts first. I think that's a pretty clean like 1A, 1B for me. Then I would probably give it to... Then it's maybe like a 2A, 2B with 463 and what was the first title? Bandits. Yeah, I think I would probably give it to 463 and then Bandits, but honestly, ask me tomorrow and I may change my answers because this is my first time listening to all of this. The beat is always so punching, the lyrics always so poetic and conversational and grounded and abstract. Again, I can't necessarily tell if he's telling stories about his own life or speaking on behalf of others. Really, you could be doing both, and that would be extremely reasonable as an artist. Melodically, there's just so many goodies here. The acoustic guitars, the strings, and then of course the production elements that take center stage. And I was thinking too about this song 463, like what was it getting at? Because then the end became like he wanted to just play baseball, become proficient at it and almost like find meaning in it. And you compare that to where the song started, which I think the first line was, I have no idea what is wrong with today's youth, or something like that. And then kind of hinting at all of the societal problems that are kind of pushing kids away from being just kids these days, is what it feels to me. Instead of chasing your dreams, instead of being outside and playing and being fear-free and responsibility-free, kids are given so much more fear, responsibility. They have less time to actually just be kids, and they're forced faster into adulthood, when instead a kid needs time to explore, to come into their own, to figure out who they are without society telling them who they are, because society will always try to tell you who you are. So why not give kids as much of a time and freedom to explore themselves as possible? And in the context here of baseball, it doesn't even have to be baseball or anything else. It just has to be something that the child, the person, is passionate about. And I hate this fact that there's so much fear out there these days. Like, parents, they do kind of want to keep their kids inside in fear of them being kidnapped or hurt or being exposed to something that they shouldn't be, because the way that society is going isn't always conducive for, kids retaining their innocence. And it makes me reminisce on my youth, because I was able to, play outside and spend time with people who I didn't necessarily know, even if my parents weren't there, because there was an air of safety. But even then, I think just year on year, generation after generation, that has been decreasing in its frequency. And then, of course, now more than ever, we have this entire online ecosystem and world to spend so much of your time in. And there's a lot of children online too, and there's many conversations that can be had about that. I've heard people talk about, should there be an age restriction for kids being able to access the internet, because even if you are safe from the physical dangers of the real world by not going outside, now you're exposing kids to the practical dangers of having access to the online world, and all of society at once being able to barrage you and indoctrinate you and directly contact you. There's always a lot to be concerned about. At the end of the day, I'm not a parent, so I can't give any prescription here, but I think doing our best to, give children the safety that they need to flourish, I think that is an important role that, to the best of everyone's ability, we can try to move society to that way, rather than forcing kids to become grown-ups when they're still kids. You know what I mean? And then you can discover that your passion is baseball and be the king of that. And, it could be anything. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did and want to request more Buck 65 yourself, please click the first link down below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.